Hey guys, thank you for checking out this channel. This video is about how to start a career in computers. Now I get asked these questions many times by many different individuals, young guys that want to get started in the computer field, but they're confused about exactly how to get started, where to get started. And there are a couple of myths out there, and we can debunk those. The first one is that I'm too old. There is no such thing. You're never too old to start your career in computers, to apply your mind and to do exactly what you want, as long as you know that's what you do want to do. If you're 60 and you're trying to do a competitive sport where your peers are much younger, nature and science may not be on your side. But when it comes to applying yourself and changing your career, I don't think it's ever too late. All that has to happen is that you have to know that this is exactly where you want to take your career. That's the first part. The second part is I have to be good in math. I have to be smart. Average intelligence, I think, is definitely fine. Again, average intelligence, I mean, that can mean so many different things. But what you will learn is that in the computer field is like applying yourself. Practice is the only way we get to learn anything. Nobody was born knowing how to do anything. No matter what it is that you're doing, the first time it's uncomfortable, the second time it may be less uncomfortable, and the third time and fourth time and so on, it just gets better and better. That's just the nature of life. So practice. So if you're new to the computer field, I've been in the computer field for 20 years. The circle I roam around with, these guys are very experienced, and we start appreciating what it actually takes to actually get started in this field, because we started so long ago. And you tend to think like everybody knows what to do. Not really. There are tons of people out there who have no idea where to start and where to look or what to do. So if you've never been in the computer field, or you interested but you're not sure exactly where to start, the first class I would recommend for you is the CompTIA A+. A+, you type that in Google and it'll print you to the right direction. Now, there are plenty of sources online where you can learn about A+. A+ actually breaks down the computer components for you. It explains how they come together to communicate, to get the computer working, and all the parts, what are they doing, the hard drives, the space, how to compute all those things, what it means when you say megabyte, gigabyte, and all that stuff. What does that space actually mean? So A+ gives you a nice base understanding of an overview of the entire computer. Now, after A+, which I think is a good foundation, because no matter no matter where you want to go, cloud, AI, machine learning, data scientist, no matter where you want to go, further down the line, a good foundation is the base that's going to give you that stable platform to launch from, and that's absolutely critical in anything that you're doing. So you don't know what you don't know, so A+ is the base. And then you can, if you want to experiment more and figure out which path you want to take, Network Plus will be the next course that teaches you how the computer communicates, how information is broken down through the different layers, and how it sits on the wire and get transferred over to to wherever it needs to go, and how it comes back to your computer and get compiled at the very lowest layer, layer 1, all the way to layer 7, to present to you the graphical user interface that you've come to appreciate. And if those layers don't really mean much to you right now, don't worry. The Network Plus does a phenomenal job at explaining all these things, and you get to play around. Now, here's the most important thing. Again, I mentioned this before, but practice. It would be really great if you have a computer tower that you can take apart, and while you're watching the A+ course, you can actually go through the components at the same time. So it's, this is what they mean by that. This is what, there is nothing like being able to picture what you're actually doing. I used to take computer courses and you just read a book, but the book is this thick, so much information in it, and after you read it, really, are you supposed to retain all the information? And I must say, a lot of the information sometimes you read aren't that relevant to what you actually need to know, what actually matters. So being able to practice will certainly help you filter to the fluff and get you the most out of your learning path. If you want to go to programming on the programming side of things, Python and Java are a great place to start. Python and Java, very powerful languages. They will give you a good foundation on programming. And the great thing about programming is that the logic the operands, the conditions, they are practically the same on so many different in so many different programming languages. So knowing Java, knowing Python will enable you to learn C++, Visual Basic, Swift at a much better level. This will shorten the amount of time it takes to actually master these other languages, and this is extremely important. Again, there are tons of courses online. I would start with udemy.com. udemy.com. They have cheap courses, $10, $20, and you can get a nice overview as to exactly where should I start and what should I do. And within hours, you can start getting an idea as to exactly how to steer your career and which path you should take. Now, you may want to ask, well, what about the cloud, the data scientist courses? These are extremely important, but you have to understand that they are compiled on top. It's an incremental progress of how the information is compiled on top of the base foundation that you need, which is where I would start at the A+, which gives you that foundation to really begin and launch your career. A cloud guru would be a great place to learn so many different disciplines: DevOps, Linux, GCP for Google, AWS, Azure for Microsoft. So you can get so many different flavors once you start exploring more into those different fields. The question may be simple: how do you get started? What's the first information that I need to get? Again, the A+ is the base. Network Plus, Python, programming, or Java, and then you can explore and figure out whether or not programming is for you, whether or not Network Plus is for you, whether or not database is for you. There is a flavor for everyone, and what you'll realize is within the computer realm, within the computer career realm, there's so much you can do. Project management, organizer. You could be a director, and depending on your educational level, and so on and so forth, or be a tech where you're actually solving a problem, which is very satisfying. And again, it all depends at the end of the day which path you want to take. So that's up to you. If you find this information valuable, you find this important, leave me a comment below, and I'll be more than happy to offer more options to elaborate more on where you can take some of the courses, the different courses you can expect, the prices, and so on and so forth, where you can actually make this relatively easy. Guys, information is out there. Once you determine this is the path that you want to take, the information is out there. It's all about how you make use of it and how to filter through the fluff. Again, practice is the key here. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.